Howdy folks, and welcome back to War Thunder with the mighty Jingles. I do feel as if I've been neglecting you War Thunder guys lately, but I've just been so amazingly busy with the 100,000 subscriber replay contest, the t-shirt design contest, setting up a cafe press store to make available all the designs that were submitted for the t-shirt contest, as well as the patch 8.8 test server in World of Tanks, which is up at the moment. So yeah, I have actually been neglecting War Thunder, but I don't want to completely, leave you guys hanging dry. So here is an interesting match I had in the Ju-87G and the BF-109 G2. And there it is, the Angel of Death with its twin 37mm anti-tank guns. Although I always load it with anti-aircraft shells. This thing just wrecks whatever it hits. Doesn't have a very fast rate of fire, has a very, very limited ammunition load. But that ammunition, oh boy, that ammunition. The ammo that the Germans used, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce the name, my German isn't that good. But it was different to all of the other anti-aircraft ammunition, high explosive anti-aircraft ammunition that anybody else used, because they manufactured it differently. Instead of drilling a cavity into a solid shell, they actually constructed it with a very thin armoured shell, if you like, around the explosive filler, which basically meant they had twice as much explosives in the shell as anybody else. So when you got hit by one of these things, you knew all about it. Start of this game was a little frustrating because everything I went for I either missed or somebody else shot down. Bad guy on my tail. In a historical battle I would have been chewed up, but this is arcade. So my low speed performance is a lot better than it should be, and we just wrecked his wing. One hit almost took his wing off. He's very lucky we didn't take his wing off, but we've wrecked so much of his plane with those 1 or 2 hits. He just gave up and bailed out. So there's a kill, which is nice. Now it is the usual cesspit of humanity that occupies arcade battles in War Thunder, so you've got to watch out for people trying to ram you. You've got to watch out for your own teammate. You know, when you're checking your radar for anybody behind you, you're looking for blue targets as well as red targets. Because a blue target behind you will usually shoot through you to get to the red target in front of you. And there's a lot of that in arcade. It really is a cesspit. It's just a... You can have fun in arcade battles, but they're nowhere near as much fun as they used to be, because of the sheer amount of rampant douchebaggery that goes on. Oh, survived getting strafed by a bow fighter. That's unusual. But now there's an Aerocobra on my ass, and I don't actually think... I think that was his 7.7mm machine guns just sawed the remains of my wings off. Finished off the job that the bow fighter did, so yeah, fair enough, well played to him. So enough derping around in the Stuka. Let's get the BF-109 G2 out. Right then, G2's up. It's still pretty much anybody's game. Control of the air bases is flipping backwards and forwards between the two teams. There's some friendlies down here that look like they could use some help. So, bow fighter. Nope, slot in on the ass of that other one, and then bring this thing around while they're concentrating on other targets. And come on. Oh, watch out, friendly. He's out of the way. Secure the kill. Oh, plenty of targets down here. Friendly, they need some help. And another kill. Still have ammo left in the guns. Not used to flying this thing at this kind of treetop level. That guy's got all kinds of problems. And I'm not one of them. There's far too many people on him to safely go after him. He's down anyway. Right, gain a bit more altitude. Not as much as I'd like. Well, you know, again, it's arcade battles. They bear about as much resemblance to reality as something that doesn't bear much resemblance to reality. I mean, I'm using the underslung wing-mounted cannon pods, but it doesn't really affect the performance and handling of this thing in arcade. You'll notice a big difference in historical. But arcade is arcade. That's why people play arcade. For the lols. If you want a realistic flight experience, you want to be playing in historical battles. That's not what arcade's about. Oh, come on. Come on. Lit this guy up all over. Yes, got him. And get out of the way of the wreck. And yes, P-39 and the LA-5 in front of me just flew into each other because they're douchebags. They're clueless, and this is what you get in arcade. Who to go for? There's an F4 who needs shooting. Now, I've given him an oil leak. Now, this is something I have never seen happen before. Watch what starts happening to my screen. I think... Whoa! Jeez, there you go. Douchebag pilots who just don't give a toss. Almost rammed out the sky from behind by a friendly. But yeah, look what's happening to my screen. I think what's happening here is I'm flying in this guy's slipstream, and I've hit his engine, and he's leaking oil. And that oil is going all over the front of my windscreen, and it's making it... I mean, I'm still hitting him. There we go, killed him. Even though I couldn't see what I was shooting at. Which, of course, now he's no longer leaking oil all over me. Clears my vision. So that's something I hadn't seen happen before. Guy over there going after ground targets seems oblivious to my presence. Can I catch him? Not unless he changes course. And he changes course. Have some. What's the matter, Tommy? Are the Germans coming? Jawohl. Wunderbar. Alright, I'll stop trying to speak German now. I'm so bad at it. More targets, more victims. I actually thought that guy was going to hit the ground, but he didn't. Which allowed me to do that. Yeah, have it. Have some. Come on, die. Yep, got him. Butchering Yak 9Ts is always satisfying. I'm only sorry that by doing it I saved one of our Yak 9Ts. Now, watch this. This is arcade battles in a nutshell. 1 Yak 1B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many? And there's people shoot. I'm getting out of here. It's just too dangerous. That Yak 1B probably did more damage to the enemy team in the 4 seconds he was climbing by douchebags behind him shooting through each other to get to him than he did by shooting at the enemy team in his entire game. That's arcade battles for you. Check out this Spitfire. I've hit him up, critted him. Now he's getting into a head-on pass with another Spitfire. He kills him. But flies into his wreckage. And now he'll be raging about noob rammers on the other team. Guy who's been shot down can't get out of the way. An ME-410. Now I'm in the turn, and he built up a lot of speed in the dive, so I'm probably not going to catch this guy. Unless... oh. Then again, he starts manoeuvring. I can catch him. Right, who's next? Who wants some of this? There's plenty of them over Airbase C. These two are getting close. Oh, jeez, that was a bit close for comfort. There was 2 of them nearly ended up decorating the front of my windshield there. Oh, another Yak 9T. Right, he needs to die because, you know, Yak 9T. And apparently another kill just popped up from something I clipped on the way past earlier, so that's nice. And there's only seconds to go at this point before we win, so it's just a question of doing a quick smash and grab to get as much damage done and points earned as you possibly can before it's game over. And Hellcat takes out the Spitfire. Hellcat flies into the wreckage of the Spitfire. Just another day in arcade battles. But you can still have fun in arcade battles. You just need to understand that your team are just as dangerous to you as the enemy. In fact, maybe even more dangerous to you than the enemy. You expect the enemy to shoot at you and fly into you. You don't expect it from your own team. So it's harder to avoid it when it happens. And it's not just down to rampant douchebaggery in arcade. The maps are smaller, there's more aircraft involved. The risk of mid-air collision is greater. The competition for kills is greater. But it's undeniably true that the number of reckless arseholes on both teams is also undeniably greater. But you know, you have to appreciate that what you're playing here is a multiplayer arcade game. You wouldn't queue up for a game of Call of Duty and expect everybody on both teams to behave like perfect gentlemen. Arcade is, well, it's exactly what it says on the tin. It's arcade. And as long as you go into your arcade battles with realistic expectations of the sort of teammates and enemies you're likely to come across, you can still have fun in arcade battles. But for those of you who expect your opponents and your teammates to fly and fight like responsible adults, and who want the aircraft to actually perform at least vaguely as they are supposed to, arcade is not where you want to be. You need to be playing in historical battles. As always, folks, check your six, and I'll catch you next time.